It started innocently enough, or at least that's what I thought. My wife had been planning a girls' trip for weeks, insisting it was a much-needed getaway with her friends. I was hesitant at first, uneasy about leaving her alone for several days with people I barely knew, but she assured me it was harmless. "Just us girls, some fun, no worries," she said, smiling as if the idea of fun absolved her of any responsibility. I wanted to trust her, and so I did, albeit reluctantly. The trip began, and I tried not to dwell on it. I kept myself busy, focusing on work and the kids. But as days passed, strange things started happening. She became unusually secretive on the phone, whispering and laughing with people I didn't recognize. Messages appeared and disappeared quickly on her screen. I brushed it off as paranoia at first, telling myself she deserved this break. But an uneasy feeling lingered, gnawing at the edges of my peace. Then came the shocking call. One of the other husbands, a man I'd met only briefly, reached out to me. His voice was tense, urgent. "You need to know what's happening," he said. "It's not just your wife. All of them, every single one of our wives, is cheating while they're on this trip." I couldn't believe it. My mind raced, trying to process the betrayal. I felt anger, disbelief, and a sense of numbness all at once. It was surreal to think that the people we trusted the most could deceive us in such a coordinated, blatant way. The man explained what he had learned from a mutual friend who had noticed the behavior, how the group dynamic had emboldened them, and how they were taking advantage of being far from home. We knew we couldn't confront them individually without risking our own credibility. So we made a plan. The husbands, a small group of us, began working together, quietly gathering evidence and documenting every suspicious activity. We monitored social media posts, cross-checked travel itineraries, and even reached out to mutual contacts discreetly. Each revelation was worse than the last. Pictures, messages, and videos that left no room for doubt. Our wives and their friends had turned a simple getaway into a web of deception. The anger was intense, but it was tempered by strategy. We decided that exposing them needed to be calculated, deliberate, and undeniable. We created a timeline of events, compiled messages, and organized photos to ensure the narrative was clear and irrefutable. It wasn't about humiliation for the sake of revenge. It was about accountability, making sure that trust and loyalty were not dismissed as trivial. When the day finally came to confront them, we were prepared. We met in a neutral location, a restaurant where the wives believed we were attending a casual dinner. As they walked in, laughing and oblivious, we remained calm, presenting the evidence in a clear, unemotional manner. At first, there was disbelief, then denial, then the slow, crushing realization that their actions had been exposed. The consequences were immediate and severe. Relationships crumbled, marriages that were already fragile ended entirely, and the bonds of friendship dissolved in an instant. Some of the women tried to apologize, to explain, to mitigate the damage, but it was too late. Trust, once broken in such a coordinated way, cannot simply be repaired with words. For the husbands, the experience was a mix of vindication and sorrow. While it was satisfying to see the truth come to light, it was painful to confront the depth of the betrayal. We shared a mutual understanding. No one else could see the weight of that trust broken in such a calculated fashion. We had learned that even in long-term relationships, deception could run deep when opportunities arise, and vigilance sometimes becomes a necessity rather than an option. In the aftermath, our lives were forever changed. Some marriages ended, some survived but were forever altered, and some men walked away entirely, choosing solitude over compromise. But one thing was certain, the lesson had been learned. Betrayal thrives in secrecy and silence, but when confronted with evidence and accountability, its power evaporates. Looking back, the trip that was meant to be harmless fun had exposed weaknesses, revealed hidden desires, and tested our capacity for endurance. We had been betrayed not just by our wives, but by the social bonds that encouraged deceit. And while the experience left scars, it also instilled a sense of clarity and caution. Trust is precious, and once broken, it cannot simply be wished back into existence.